What's going on, people? This is Shaun Harris of the Rebel Society. Oh, damn.
Oh, man.
Whoa. Got my intros mixed up.
Oh, a little turbulence on the takeoff.
Yeah,
Turbulence on the... Got a little...
Beer down, brother.
Yeah. What's going on, people? This is Society X Podcast. I am your host, Shaun Harris. What's going on, Kory? You up here talking shit early.
This is what I do. It's a brand name like Pepsi.
It's really not. You say that same line like Eric.
I know because
I need you to get new lines.
I know. I need you to get, better at starting out your own podcast.
I just got a lot of stuff going in my head, so it kind of all flows together.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. How's your week been, though?
It's been a great week. It's only Monday.
It's only Monday. We are recording this on Mondays instead of Wednesdays. So
no, it's been a great week. Had a great weekend, and
that's what I meant to ask. How was your weekend?
I had a great weekend. Went to happy hour, did some breakfast and some brunch and some dinner. I ate and drank a lot, so I'm surprised.
But you drink every day.
I don't drink every day. Well, yeah, I do, but it just depends on the amount that I drink every day.
So when can we have like your rehab episode of this?
Because that would require me to have a problem, and I personally don't feel I have a problem.
No, okay. All right, so like I said before, we kind of switching up the day we record just so we could try to put it out, which doesn't really matter to anybody else except me, so it's whatever. So we kind of taking it back to the themed episodes we had before, just for this one particular episode. And everybody in here except for Kory. Kory is kind of like in this category.
No. There's no kind of married, and there's either you are married or you're not married.
It's common law.
And Kory Ray Smith is not married.
It's common law, though.
There's no common law. That's bullshit. I hate when people say that. Name one person that just is now common law married to someone. Like, they just, oh, shit, now I'm married.
My Uncle Junebug.
Really? That sounds like a fake person.
I got an uncle named Junebug.
That's a government name?
Nah.
And I got an uncle named Sonny. I think him and his old lady.
Definitely.
I think that's just something. I just think that, there's so many terms here.
Definitely not government, but I bet money he got an uncle named Junebug. That's a staple.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, before we get started, because we got like I said before, a whole heap of questions, I guess I can introduce y'all. So, we got my man, Fro right here, rap extraordinaire.
I do all right.
Besides him, we have a friend of the show, Shaun. Shaun.
I'm just here. Yeah.
Apparently, you guys shop in the same store.
Yeah. He always tries to match my hoodie vibes that are going on.
Nah, not at all. And then beside Kory, we got my man Mario. How's everything going?
Everything's everything, man. Can't complain over
all
here.
Right. So real quick, what y'all niggas do so people know? Fro?
Shoot. In real life?
No.
Shit.
Never real life. Always fiction.
Okay. Well, then I'm a rapper. I MC, produce, do the music thing. I guess staying on subject since we delving into the whole marriage thing. Been married 12 years. So, family man, father, all that good stuff.
You got married at like 17?
Nah. 23, 24.
Oh, okay.
24. I'm telling my age a little bit.
Yeah. Yo, Shaun.
I'm Shaun. I don't have much going on outside of work. But I've been married, I'll be 7 years in May. And I have one daughter. And I got married, 27 when I got married? So that probably gave my age right there.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. If you can do math, I gave my age right there.
Mario.
Man, I am a father of 3, married 7 years, and I'm a franchise owner for Johnny King. I clean up people's shit.
All right, well, keeping it real.
That's a real grind. My parents did the janitorial business.
That's definitely a real grind.
It's a real grind.
Yeah.
So, other than that, man, contracts be all right, though.
All right, so we're gonna just hop right into this.
Wait a minute, how long you been married, Rashod?
Yeah, whoa, don't avoid this.
I'm gonna avoid.
Okay.
I've been married 5 years.
Oh.
As of like 2 weeks ago, the 10th of March, and that's pretty much it.
Per last week's episode, I liked all your wife's pics just to fuck with you.
Did you?
Yeah. For anybody who's listening, he said he would get really pissed off if somebody liked his wife's pics, and I told him I was gonna like all his wife's pics.
That's cool.
All 247 of them.
I said it ain't bothered
He's
me.
about to check now, right?
I might actually.
He might actually.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
just
turn
to
this
see if
off
I
right
did it.
quick.
Just
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
it.
let me
Just to see if I did
It's
it or
cool.
not.
Let me see that.
It's cool
Yeah.
till they do that screenshot post shit. Like, look at everybody that liked my pictures today. It's like one dude.
Yeah, like all of them. Yeah.
Sitting there like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
What's going on?
All right, so we're gonna get this shit started. So on our first segment called
Like, oh shit, I'm fucking.
Randy, what's the story on how you lost your virginity?
Shit. It wasn't nothing extravagant, bro. I actually prepared for this because I
know.
watched this fucking podcast.
I know you did.
Now it wasn't nothing extravagant. I think it was really like on some Netflix and chill before Netflix. Cause
So like Blockbuster and shit.
VCR and shit.
like HBO Saturday Night and Chill. Like remember when HBO used to drop a new movie every Saturday?
Free trial and relax.
So
Tight
like,
night.
so yeah, I was like,
What was the movie I was watching?
Nigga won't watch no movie.
right. I mean, we started watching the movie, you know, it ended the way I hoped that it would end as a version. You know what I mean? But yeah, I probably like Candyman 2.
Nigga, how old were you?
It was like one of the newer Candymans. The last
Does
one
it
that
matter
came out.
which Candyman? Like, who has sex to Candyman?
I mean, we want fucking two Candyman. Like, so like, put on that Candyman.
So,
like,
but you started watching Candyman, and then you were like, oh, yeah. Oh, shit, I'm fucking.
Candyman.
Yeah, well,
so the light, it was storming. It was storming, so the lights went out.
she had the cuddle and shit.
So, you know, lights went out and, you know,
How old
it
were you?
happened. I think I had just turned 18 Like,
okay.
that week or week before or something like
So
that.
this was like birthday sex.
Somewhere in that area. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's never bad.
Yeah, so it worked out, though. Shout out to the queen. It was actually my wife now. So, yeah. Shout out to the queen.
All right, so somebody else said the same thing before. Is this like your only?
No.
Yeah, okay.
So, it's not my only sexual partner that I've been with, but I haven't had a handful. I haven't had like a ton.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Mario.
Oh, same question?
Yeah, same
Yeah.
question.
Shit, man. I was 16. Nobody was home after soccer practice, bro. She lived in the same apartment complex. She came over. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I just went with the flow, nigga. Shit, nigga.
So she pretty much took it from you.
That's it, nigga. Here you go.
Just laid it out there on the platter.
That's it, bro. After that was a wrap. After that, shit, fucking everything.
Was she older?
She was older than me. Yes, she was. I was a freshman. I was a freshman. I had just moved down here from New York. I was a freshman in high school, and she was a. No. Fuck.
What shit?
Freshman, sophomore, yeah, whatever the shit was.
Somewhere in there.
In there, yeah. And then she was.
That didn't narrow down anything, just for the record.
Yeah, some shit. She was a senior in high school, so.
All right, dope. So the majority of this podcast, or pretty much this whole podcast, is going to be about the male's perspective when it comes to marriage. Since we always get a lot of shit about what women think about marriage and all that fly funky shit. So I just thought it'd be a good idea just to hear from perspectives from guys who've actually been through the struggle. And Kory, wait, he doesn't. So
No struggle here.
you have a struggle.
No.
Your face is a struggle. So yeah. So we got a whole list of questions. So we might as well just start off. Like, what made y'all decide to like want to get married?
Who's answering first?
You can answer
Don't
first.
everybody go at the same time.
What made me? Like I said, I was 27 and I just started making some. I don't know. I just started making some money. I've been with her for what were we together? Like 3 years when I proposed. 3.5 years when I proposed, and I don't know. I just felt like I was ready. I was starting to become the man I wanted to be. I felt like financially things were working out. I don't know. I was just ready. It felt like I was ready at least. I don't think you're ever really ready until it happens, but I felt like I was
Facts.
at the time. So.
Mine was just, she was just different. You know, everybody that I've dealt with, pretty much the same until I ran into my wife. And it was more so of, I sat back and kind of was like, well, damn, what I said to this one, I can't say to her. You know, it was real different. So the conversation was different. So then after that, it was just like, well, shit, she ain't gonna be around just to be a girlfriend.
Right.
So let me go ahead and take it to the next.
So she kind of made you step up your standards.
I had to, because if not, I lost her. So I had to either step up to the plate or just fall back for good, because they won't know I'm gonna call you up after 12 type deal.
Yeah,
that won't go down.
Yeah.
So
I think that's kind of like my same boat. Like, me and my wife dated for like 2 years before we got married, and then she told me, like, when we first started dating, like, she had a certain date in mind that if we weren't proposed or engaged, but by then, that's pretty much a wrap. So I like, God damn, she got a nigga on the clock like early. Yeah,
I remember her telling me
That
that.
is-
It's
terrible.
I remember her telling me
It's
that.
terrible, but it ain't terrible at the same time. I kind of feel the vibe from the perspective of it don't take but a good 3 to 4 years to realize, like, what the fuck's we doing? Either we going, like, waste each other's time, or we just gonna go together for the rest of our
But
life.
even
Like,
3 years, they was telling me I waited too long. They said I was like, when I went to marriage counseling, they was like, "What took you so long?" Like,
nah,
some
you
people I thought that was
But see-
standard. I thought I was doing the right thing.
you don't want to go too quick because you
That's
gotta
that's what I
like.
said.
You gotta let the
we waited like 4
infatuation
years.
shit wear off so that y'all can like get into some fights, or at
That's
least
what I
figure
said.
out what y'all don't like about each other, and then see
We
like
broke up twice, got back. We did all that. So I was like,
Right.
we've been through the rough stuff.
Nah, see, I think
thought we went through it.
I think it's a little different, because you never really fully know someone. It's
Until
like
you married.
right, and then you
Yeah.
actually get to start learning different things, and
Yeah.
facts.
I'd be like, well, dang, I didn't know you like this. Like, my wife real prissy, So the other day
I like how
she
you
was
did
like,
air quotes, but like,
but like,
I don't think you really needed it.
allegedly.
she's like, the other day she was like, yeah, I like Tupac, and I was like, what the fuck?
That was it. The Tupac line. I got
That's
you.
nigga. I was sitting there like, all right, cool, but.
She definitely doesn't seem like she likes Tupac.
Yeah, nah, man. So I think it just
Prissy girls don't like Tupac.
bro, not this one. I didn't know she.
Prissy
got-
girls are more like a '90s R&B vibe.
Man, she gets hyped when she hears Nelly come on.
Oh wow.
You hear me?
But
Is it
Nelly's
country
always
grammar
on the
though?
radio though.
Country Grandma's a classic.
Country
That's
Grammar-
Country
it.
Grammar.
Man,
Country grammar or that country shit?
She like
Talk like
country, the
Nelly- talk like
country.
Nellyville, then I get you.
Yeah, bro.
Country Grandma is a
Country
classic.
Grammar-
Man, we go to a
So
So
concert.
we've already had this conversation.
Me and
I
Shaun
wasn't
have had this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Or is it like the Nelly, the Saint Lunatic
Yeah,
solo
like, yeah.
album?
St. Luke,
It wasn't that
man.
bad.
Oh, it was bad.
It wasn't that bad.
No rapper's subgroup has ever really done that well.
Wait a minute.
There's a few here and there.
Nelly's
that-
like fucking heroin because you don't know nobody that really listens to him, but somebody listening to him because he
He
make a
sold-
lot of fucking money.
You know
Like,
what? And
he
this
sold a lot of
kind of
albums.
goes
Like-
into that. When one of the things I loved about my wife when we were dating, right? This was back in what I meet her in like 2007. So I used to sit there and I was a huge Dipset fan, right? A lot of people like Dipset, but I used to specifically watch Jim Jones and the
I'm about to say
hear
you
him
fuck
cuss
with a
people out.
Hell Rail.
No. I used to hell real trash. We can talk about that later. But no, I used to specifically listen to Jim Jones and hear him cuss people out and start fights and stuff like that. And we was having a random conversation, and my wife said, like, yeah, sometimes I just sit on YouTube and watch Jim Jones fight people. Like, I was like, this me too. Like, yeah, this might work
Look
out.
at Dipset bringing people together.
So that kind of brought us together.
Really?
Yeah, I'm serious. Then we were dating. I mean, there was a ton of things I liked about it. That was one thing that really stuck out. I was like, that's just a super random thing that we
It's a
have in
random
common right
thing.
now.
You should do a vows renewal ceremony. Just make it completely
in there.
Dipset themed.
It will work.
Pink and bandanas.
It will work.
And those the skulls or whatever on the belts.
The wallet chains.
Yeah, yep.
Medium
Whole
white
lot of,
tee.
whole lot of wallet chains.
So what about you, Fro?
I think it was a combination of things, like, for me, honestly. And I just, like, without saying some cliche shit, like, kind of like God's plan. But
That's real.
when I
That's
was
real
like,
cliche.
it is.
They made God's plan so cliche. Though.
When I was like 19, I got really heavy into like
Shout out to Jesus.
church ministry and all that stuff, right? And when you're kind of coming up in those environments and those ranks, like, that's like the vibe they give you, like, bro, you need a wife. Like, you know what I'm saying? You out here, you in the church, you doing stuff. We know you fucking, like, you need a wife. Like, that's kind of like the thing. So it kind of makes you
That sounds like pressure
want-
though.
it's a little bit of pressure, you know what I mean? And I don't think people talk about it that much, which is kind of one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up. But it is a little bit of pressure because I think you could kind of mess around and just marry somebody based on like they church qualities and not like the real them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the good thing about me and my wife is I met my wife in middle school. So we've known each other for a really long time. And even like before I kind of got into the ministry thing, like we did the high school sweetheart thing for a little bit, broke up, got back together, broke up. So we kind of did that whole back and forth thing for, maybe like the last like 3 years, like kind of like my man was saying. And for me, it was just kind of like, I'm saying to myself, like, yo, I need a wife. I want a wife. I feel like I'm ready, but, why do I keep going around in circles with the same person? Like, what keeps bringing me back to her? You know what I'm saying? So I think I had like a dream that I proposed to her or some shit like that. So I was like, yo, let me just go ahead and rock with it because we knew we loved each other. It was just like this whole, it was a consistent, like, we together, we not together, we together, we not together thing. And I just kind of got tired of playing the
all right.
back
So
and forth with it.
since you said you haven't had, that many sexual partners, you never felt like you had to go out here and just like have like a whole period or whatever?
No. I mean, it's, you think about this shit, but like it's not within marriage. It's like once you kind of build and establish a marriage and then you kind of get into building and establishing your family, like that's kind of like the main thing that keeps you from going out here and like fucking around. It's just like,
Or even like before that, like before you.
No, because before that, I was, like I said, I was like church,
Yeah.
God, ministry, you know what I mean? So like, it was one of those things where we was trying to abstain from sex until we got married and, won't no whole phasing in that. So
I wonder if pastors believe in whole phases.
Little head in the pulpit.
Not head in the pulpit.
Little missionary in the little tub. I don't know why they had to have sex in the church. They could have, sex
You made
anywhere.
that sound so bad for some reason.
Oh, man.
Maybe because Easter was yesterday.
Oh, that was my goal.
Yeah, I know. So, somebody asked this question earlier today. So, do y'all feel like y'all? This is gonna sound all fucked up, but do y'all feel like y'all really like love the person y'all with, or was it more so y'all were just ready to get married? If that makes sense.
That makes sense. No, I definitely loved my wife, definitely.
yeah, facts.
But do you feel like it was more so you were just ready to be married?
Maybe not more. It was that too. I knew I was ready, but I wasn't like, I don't know. I know some people that are like we got a mutual friend. I won't say his or her name, but he said once the next woman he dates, he's gonna marry. I've never said some shit like that. Like I was completely open when I met my wife, and I was actually planning on being a hoe before I met her.
But
like,
it didn't happen.
You planned on it? You were like, I'm going to be
yeah, because I just came out of a relationship, and I met my wife. I broke up with somebody, and say like if it was like December or January, I met my wife in March. So I was like, when I was out there, I was like, I'm gonna be out here, and I'm gonna be like my friends. I'm gonna be a hoe, and just not exactly a hoe, but I'm just gonna live life and do whatever. And I met her, and it changed, but plans changed. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was. I definitely thought I was ready, but it was her though. It was more her than just like I wasn't
running to get married.
Nah. I definitely wanted to be married. Like I grew up with both parents in the house, and I wanted that life for myself, but I wasn't gonna force it.
Gotcha.
I mean, that statement is kind of an interesting statement, though, because, I mean, that's the way it works. You're supposed to meet someone when you're at a certain point. Another person meets you at a certain point. Like, you have, I'm assuming all of us have had people in our past that you look back on and you're like, oh, that might have worked today, but it didn't work back then because we were different people. So, I mean, it's like, it's not a bad statement. It's not an unrealistic statement to understand.
Yeah, because I guess you are supposed to be ready to marry somebody when you're trying to marry
exactly,
somebody.
and that's why I think personally a lot of marriages don't work out is because people aren't they're buying into so many different things that make them want to get married for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you feel like y'all have to change who you are as a person to be in a marriage?
You gotta compromise, man, in marriage. You gotta be able to give. You gotta be able to listen more than talk. And to me, I was terrible at this. I'm always talking, and I figured one shit getting done anyways.
Yeah.
So just shut up. So when I started being quiet and letting her talk, then shit started working. So
But do you
I
feel like
figured
you had to change like the core of who you are though?
I think so because I couldn't be a whole all the rest of my life.
I think
so it's just.
But what if you loved who you are besides the whole shit?
Yeah, well, you got to be able to
Find a balance.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't have that, then you're just gonna be you. That's it, by yourself. If you can't, if she says I don't like this, and you don't want to change this, then you're gonna lose the person you love.
But what if you really love that part of yourself?
This is it's like if you gonna make the decision to live with a woman, period, like marriage or girlfriend or whatever, shagging, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you gonna have to change some shit about how you think just as a man, period. Cause like I think at our like core, like we just think like men. Like when we think man shit, and then you live in a house with a woman that she always challenges some of that shit. It's like, well, damn. I guess I gotta like.
But I'm cool with that. I'm talking more so about the stuff. What's something that you love to do? You love rap,
right?
So what if she said, you know what? I know you've been doing this all your life. You love this shit, but this doesn't really flow with my life.
Grateful that she's never asked me to do that.
But what if she did though? That's what I'm saying. Like stuff that you're like cool with, outside of like doing like whole shit or fucking with other chicks. That
I want
type
to
of
know
stuff.
why.
I would want to know why.
Yeah.
I would.
You
Yeah,
just not
I
like
would,
seeing him
because
do that. Like if she had a problem with like your lifestyle, like why is that a problem? Is it
because
financial? Is it
something like that is like, okay, I'm a creative. If I don't have the ability to be a creative, like if you're telling me
For some reason that really bothers me.
For
some reason that really bothers me. You calling yourself a creative. Really? Just in general, I hate when people say that. But continue on.
But I am. But if you're gonna tell me that I can't make music, right?
Yeah.
Then you're not gonna want to deal with the type of person that I am when I can't make music. Like you're not gonna love the type of person that I am when I can't make music, because I'm gonna be fucked up. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be frustrated. Like that's my outlet. Mm-hmm. So it's like she never asked me to do that based on those grounds. So I feel like anybody that I ask their significant other to like cut doing some shit about them that they love, and it ain't like fucking detrimental.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you even say you love a person and then tell a person they got to stop doing some shit that they love?
On the flip side,
though, trash.
He said,
"What their music is trash."
Yeah, even if their music is trash, like, well, shit, just that's your hobby, just
But on the flip side, do you feel like y'all wives have had to change to be with you?
I think
probably.
Yeah.
I feel like my wife hasn't had to change that much. I feel like she's still the same person.
I'm sure if next week, if we did a Wives Society X podcast,
I feel like she wants to do that.
She probably does.
Yes, but it's not happening.
Nah, you don't get to swing back on this.
Nah. So
I will say this though, I feel like I've had to change more than she's had to change.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have.
I'll say that.
Like, do you feel like your wife has changed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because she was. I tell the story, right? Okay, for example, right? When we were dating, I had an apartment, and there was a Wendy's across the street from it, right? And I was getting dressed. We were going out on a date, and I said, "This is this kind of person."
And y'all
she
going to
was,
Wendy's?
Right? No.
Little
We
5-piece.
I said to her, I was getting
spicy
dressed. I said, "Are you on your way?" She says, "Yeah." I said, would you mind stopping by there and grabbing me something? She said, like,
when y'all going out?
No. Yeah, we were like dating, right? I don't know what we were gonna do. We could have been going to the movies. I don't know. I said, "Can you run by there and get me something real quick?"
And she was already in the apartment.
It was like, fuck no, like
emphatic no.
Yeah, like it wasn't like, oh no, I'm don't have my card. It was like no. And I was like, what the fuck?
Get the
was
fuck
that?
out of here.
Right? Yeah, like that made me so mad. Like I'm talking about it 10 years later. Like I don't know, shit like that. Like she was a very she can admit to this. She was like a really selfish person. She's the youngest child. Like she was raised by her grandparents, so she always had the attention on her, and like that was some shit she had to change. Like that, something like that. might happen today, but I'm talking about like in her life in general. Like that, her saying that meant nothing to her. That pissed me off for weeks.
You still a little mad.
It makes me mad.
It's hungry. Your
It's
That's just like, can I use your pen real quick? Like, fuck no. Like, I'm gonna give it back. And I even told her, like, I'm gonna give you the money when you get here. She's like, well, just get it when I was like, what the fuck was that? Like that's like, let me use your pen. Like, no, this is my pen. Like, I'm gonna give it back to you. Like,
meanwhile, y'all are going out to somewhere that you probably were gonna pay.
Exactly.
Maybe like, fuck it, I ain't paying for shit.
And that's another thing. Like,
I don't
want to go nowhere.
Like when I don't throw up in somebody's face if I'm paying for something. Like that was something that we had to work on too. Like, if I'm paying, I pay for 90% of the dates we go out on. And if she pays for 2 of them, it's like that's always coming up. That was something that had to change too. I let her know like. After a while, like that really pisses me
You
off.
pulled out like an Excel spreadsheet.
I could, no, but I'm saying like if you want to keep score, we can keep score.
316.
Well, we can keep score, but I'm saying like she would pay for something once and it's like
I paid for
3
all
weeks
the
later,
dinners.
like I paid for that dinner. I'm like that was how much have I paid for since? Like, but I don't know. She definitely had to change though.
All right, cool. So in between this conversation, people have submitted me questions, but they're like super random. So I'm just start throwing them out there, ever so often. So first, I'm not gonna say who submitted because then that'd be kind of wild.
Just say it.
All right. The first one is not getting head a deal breaker, and how important is head?
From your wife?
Yeah, from your wife.
What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Who the hell
Why
asked that? It's 2000. It's 2018. Like if
Somebody
you
asked it.
That was.
I mean,
that
that person's not getting head. That's what that is.
That person's not getting head.
This is a female
would
that asked the
feel
question
bad.
though.
Then she's not giving head.
She's not giving head.
So it'd been like a deal breaker,
somebody dumped her for
like
that.
get a divorce. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's all on her husband or whoever she's dating. If the nigga don't like head and shit, she ain't got to do
Then
it.
she ain't got to worry
Yeah,
about it.
But that goes back to what we just talked about. You got to compromise a little bit. Like if I like head, like sure, head, come here, baby.
But what if
You
you
know?
get that?
And if she says no all the fucking time, then we gotta figure some shit out. We're gonna have to have this conversation. Like, hey, come here, let's talk.
Yeah,
Watch
I
this.
feel like that's a dangerous like if somebody's refusing to do anything that like your partner really wants to try on some sexual shit in a marriage, like I feel like that's a dangerous no. Like at least try that shit or boy down the street might want to do that shit to your girl or vice versa.
Is
Yeah,
the
you
head
know what
like
I mean?
basic? Like that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
like.
I thought it
it's
was
like a
But head
prerequisite.
is- yeah, like but it's 2018. Like that's
I'm
who's
saying, like,
not
okay,
giving
like,
head in
somebody- like, okay.
2018. That's
There might be some women giving head, but they might do it begrudgingly.
There's a husband. There's a
I hate
husband
that.
not
I hate
getting
that.
head
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Somebody else.
Yeah, there's somebody not getting head right
Oh yeah,
now.
definitely.
And
He's
that's
fucking pissed.
pour out a little beer for that guy.
right.
He's dying slow.
All right, so
But
another
then
random.
she's probably like, if not currently getting cheated on, she's 5 minutes from being cheated on, and that's like not to say that it's cool, but like
So that is
If
probably
you
like a
really
deal breaker for most guys. I would say so.
But I would think that's something you should. Okay, we talking in a marriage, but I would think that's something I would have to address in the dating stage. Like,
Right.
if you're not giving me head, well, am I? Is it me? Is it the? Like, what's the problem?
how can we
we're
work
gonna have
through
to
this?
address that. 'Cause if I'm spending the rest of my
true,
life
though.
with you and I never get
If you wait,
my thing done, like, what is what's
My
the problem?
thing done.
I don't want to. Dick sucked is still like that's still kind of a. That's
That makes you uncomfortable.
dick sucked. That makes me a little uncomfortable. Like,
That's a little uncomfortable because you're talking to or about
never
your
tell my
wife.
wife to
Like
suck
you
my- I
can't
never
be
said
like
that.
right, yeah. Like
So you
By
want
the
to
way.
suck on it or something?
I don't even say that. I'm just. I kind of imply, but I've never said you're gonna suck my dick.
so
Anyone.
when I get home, you're gonna suck this dick.
That's wild.
that's wild.
You're gonna ask your wife if you could fuck
You
her
said it's not
face
that
or
wild.
anything like
Yeah.
that.
Every time I don't know. I feel kind of. I don't know. I feel like my mom's in the room or something when I say that.
Yeah. What'd you say? You start whispering and shit.
No, I mean, I've dated women in the past that were a little hesitant with the sloppy toppy, but I was usually like having ferocious sex.
Yeah.
So like,
Ferocious though?
so would that balance the table?
Ferocious,
Now, for
wow.
me back then, it balanced the tables out. Like I was like, that's cool.
So when I was kind of out there, I definitely wasn't doing it. So I wasn't that much of a problem if they didn't give it to me.
When I was a hoe, I didn't care as long as something was happening downstairs. I didn't really give a shit.
Something was happening.
Yeah.
You remember in like high school when like was it just Churchland when like niggas was scared to say they ate pussy, like they
Oh
lied about
yeah,
eating
I
pussy?
think that's pretty much like every
No,
guy
that's
till like
every guy
19
until a certain age. Like
till like 19, 20.
You ate pussy?
I didn't
No, I
eat
didn't.
pussy till I was like 20, like 22.
You want me? She lying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lying. You want me? What I look like? You look like a nigga eating pussy then.
All right, so another random question was from my man. I'll call him out because he don't really give a fuck. My man Keon, who said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bored are you?
Being married?
Yeah.
10 being the worst, like 10.
See, he gonna give a number. You about to be pussy.
You want me to give a number?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to
It
10.
depends. Like,
Scale 1
okay,
to
in
10.
general, am I bored?
Man, it was 1 year, man. I was like 7. Oh, this shit is fucking up for me. I ain't lying. I was like, she would tell you. She was like, man, fuck this, But then we started doing different shit. You know? Started communicating a little better, and that number went from 7 down to like a 3.5. We down, going down to 2 now. But it's all right. I'd say if I had to give a number, I'd say we probably like a 2.5, some shit like that.
So 2 being
Like
the least
bored.
bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We gotta keep it funky. I keep it.
Yeah.
We try to do different shit. We both work, and it's like come and go. Phew, phew, phew,
Yeah,
phew.
yeah.
I come home, she sleep. I'm like, hey girl, move over. Fucking kids in the bed. I'm in the living room. So, that's what it is.
I would probably have to say mine's like around there too.
yeah, I would
like
say that too. It was higher.
Like around 2.
I'll probably a 2, maybe a 3. Yeah, it was higher at one point. It's like, fuck. But
Is this a question y'all scared to answer? Your
No.
wife might be listening.
I was bored as hell.
I just see all these
when
questions.
when my wife was pregnant,
Man.
I was bored as hell. I was excited, but I was bored as hell.
For
My
9
wife
months, you
shut
probably
it-
didn't do
she
any.
shut it down.
down.
And
Closed
she
for business.
She was irritable and
You had a
plus
girl?
I like yeah.
yeah,
And we
when they had the boys, they be ready.
That was what was it? It was 2014. And we talk about this ourselves. 2014. I got fired in like April, and then we found out we was pregnant in May, and I was just bored out of my mind. Like
Oh, so you was at the
bored
crib
in
all
life
day.
and bored in like my marriage. I didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. She, like I said, she shut it down during the whole pregnancy, so it was really boring.
You can't do sexual activity while a woman's
No, you
pregnant.
can.
You can.
Some women don't want to.
Some women
That's
don't
really
feel
weird.
like. Some
I would-
women,
I've never
women-
gone down that road.
You know, some
but
women
that's-
want it all the time, and then some.
You know, for the
know,
pregnant chick?
No. Plus, I think
You look like
Why
a
would you
nasty dude that would do something like that.
Yeah, who's fucking pregnant? Who's
I
fucking
don't
pregnant
know.
woman they didn't get pregnant?
Off the record, I think
Because you know
Some
they
a lot of
fucking.
people- that's a dumb question. A lot of
pregnant
people
women
do.
look funny to me. Like it's
Unless it was my work, I definitely don't want to be.
like everybody be like, you're so beautiful and glowing. I don't see that.
oh, that's fun.
I don't see that. I really don't. Like when I see a pregnant woman, I just
You got kids, bro?
no.
Oh yeah,
no.
that's why.
I feel like you got a
When-
tumor or
yeah.
something.
Once
I
you
don't
get
know what's
one-
going on.
Once you get one, you kind of
No,
understand it.
I pull out 20 minutes early. That's really
20 minutes.
I actively try
Pull
not to
out don't work,
reproduce.
man.
It doesn't work. No,
Well,
no,
it doesn't always work. Man.
Now we had to
What's been working for you?
we had to make a
Yeah,
decision
you
to
guys
really
been working for
like start doing more shit. But I think what helps for us is that seeing as I'm like the marriage veteran at the table and shit, like we got into it kind of early and we went through like having our kids and being young and like we kind of. So I'm a stepfather and then my son was born like the year that we got married. So we kind of went into our marriage with the family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you go into your marriage with a family, like starting that shit off